But we will find out when it happens. We might have to ask for forgiveness rather than ask for permission on that regard, because I haven't got a clear answer. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Tegan Mooson Twitch channel. We're going to be here playing some MTG Arena again. This is a sort of impromptu, out of the blue stream, because originally I was going to stream on Sunday and forgot that that would overlap with a plan I had already made that I'm kind of keen to keep, unfortunately. And so while I would love to prioritise, my Twitch channel, I need to make sure that I still have a life outside of it. And so I'm doing a little stream today to kind of keep up my promise of at least one stream a week when doable, when possible. I thought today would be a good day to do a Magic stream as opposed to a Final Fantasy stream, because I was kind of hoping midweek Magic would be up, but instead we've got Quick Draft Wilds of Eldraine, which is a great format anyway, so I might do that. I've also got the Cast 20 Black and Blue spells, but also let me double check the time on it, in about 82 minutes we are premiering the Aether Drift debut video on Magic the Gathering's Twitch and YouTube channels. Now I don't know if I'm allowed to stream this to you all, but I've asked and got a no reply, so I'm just going to try it, and hopefully I won't get, I don't know, banned from Twitch for it. I hope I won't. Hopefully I'll just get like a smack on the wrist and a warning, don't do that again, but I've tried to ask and no one's given me an answer, so I'm going to give it a go. Maybe we play it safe and leave the debut video until they've finished streaming on their channel, and then we just watch it afterwards on my channel as a video itself. I don't know. But I've got it in a side tab, and I'm sure it will start playing at me when it starts. So, yeah, unless I've got a reply by then, I guess I'll just go with it and try streaming that all to all of you. But until then, we have 80 minutes, and we can get a draft in and open some packs. Probably. First we will open this inbox letter. Weekly announcements. Absolutely fine. I've got a few packs saved up. So 4 Foundation packs and 1 Outlaws of Thunder Junction. We'll just quickly open them all, see what we get. Whee! Ooh, a couple of a rare and an uncommon wild card. We got our first Quick Strider Ceratops, which is quite cool because it's 3 green for a 12 power 8 toughness dinosaur, so pretty strong. Our first Guarded Heir, who is a 6-drop 1/1 with lifelink that comes in with 2 3/3 night tokens. So kind of cool, makes good tokens for what it is. Makes 6 powers worth of token for 6 mana. And then there's also just a little 1/1, so that it's quite a funny, flavourful creature. Of like, it's the little noble that's being protected by their knights. But if you have like an anointed procession, their entourage of knights gets bigger. We also opened a Cathar's Commando, which we've got from a couple of other sets. It's pretty good. It's enchantment and artifact removal. Staple to a creature with flash. A common wild card, which is pretty nice, and a couple of tap lands. And then our rare and mythic slots are a Celestial Armor. We opened one of those before. We've got it in our mouse deck. It's pretty good equipment. There's also a protection spell attached to it. A Kellen, Planar Trailblazer, who is a red legendary creature, human fairy scout. He's been the Magic poster boy for the last year or so. For 1 and a red, if Kellen is a scout, which he starts off as, he becomes a human fairy detective and gains whenever Kellen deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library, you may play that card this turn. So this is an ability that you can only do once, because it has to check if he's a scout, and then when it's finished activating, he's no longer a scout because he becomes a human fairy detective instead. So you can't just pay 1 and a red over and over again to make it so that whenever he deals combat damage, you exile like the top 7 cards or something. But he does it once, which is pretty good. And then once he's gotten that, he gets 2 and a red. As long as he's a detective, he becomes a 3/2 human fairy rogue with double strike. I was going to say, notably, you can actually sort of cheat this if you put in things that make him a scout as well as his other types, or a detective as well as his other types. Then he will still register as a scout if you reactivate the first ability. So like a Maskwood Nexus would make all your creatures every creature type. So even after you've activated the first ability, he would still be a scout because he would be every creature type. So there are ways you can cheat that first part. But he's a 2/1 for 1, and he's legendary. He's pretty good. There's definitely a deck you can build around him. And I quite like this kind of creature where it has like abilities to evolve it as it goes along. What's the original one? They've made a few of them. There's like the Abzan one, where it's a warrior that then becomes a spirit and becomes a... The first one was a Kithkin though, and I can't remember what it's called. It's a little red-white Kithkin. For either a red and a white you cast it. It's a 1/1, and as you spend like a red and a white and a red and a white to Boros hybrid manners, not red and white and red and white. It's red or white and red or white. To make our first strike can be a soldier, I think, and then you make it into a spirit, and then you make it into like a god or something. I can't remember what it is. Another Golter, big dinosaur, and a mythic wildcard. And then we've got our Outlaws of Thunder Junction pack. We've got Skullduggery. Kind of a removal spell. Definitely helps you win a combat. Honest Rutstein. For 1 black-green, legendary creature, human warlock. When Honest Rutstein enters, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, and creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. He's 3 power and 2 toughness. Pretty good. Plan the Heist is a plot card for 4 mana, 2 blue. You surveil 3 if you have no cards in hand, and then you draw 3 cards. But you can also plot it for 3 and a blue. Then we've got a common and uncommon wild card. And a mythic wild card. Turns out we're just getting wild cards here. I saved up those packs to get just wild cards. But yeah, so we have our quest for today is to cast blue and black spells. So we will see if we can build a blue and black deck in this Wilds of Eldraine quick draft. How long have we got before the premiere starts? 75 minutes. That's loads of time to do a quick draft. So we'll jump right in. I've got some coins saved up so we can hop straight into a quick draft and see if we can earn enough gems to quick draft. Oh no. So I said blue and black, and then I opened a white mythic and a red mythic that's really good. I don't know how it is in this format, but Sneak Attack is one of the I can't remember what they're called, Enchanting Tales cards, where they've got this special fancy border that I think they were called Enchanting Tales for this set. They've got a fancy like storybook Grimm's fairy tale vibe going on with like some more cartoony-esque art. I think they're various different artists, but I do quite like this one where it's the giant just hiding in the bushes and all the soldiers running past. Sneak Attack itself is 3 and a red for an enchantment, and you can spend red to put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. That creature gains haste, and then you sacrifice it at the beginning of your next end step. So for 4 mana you put it down on the battlefield, and then you can just go 1, smash in this giant creature, hit you with it. 1, smash in this giant creature, hit you with it. But you only get 1 turn of hitting them. But it's very good. If there's some big stuff in this format, it would be very useful, like just dropping this guy onto the battlefield for 1 mana. Not bad. And then we've also got the Virtue of Loyalty, which is 1 white white for an enchantment. And the enchantment side is at the beginning of your end step, you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, untap those creatures. So it gives all your creatures vigilance, kind of, and then also puts a counter on them so it makes them bigger every end step. And then it is also, as you can tell by the weird layout of the text box, an adventure card. So these were originally made in the Eldraine set. Thrones of Eldraine was the first one. Wilds was the coming back to it, I think. I'm pretty sure Wilds was when they came. Yeah, Wilds was when they came back to Eldraine for the first time. The adventure cards are effectively 2 spells stapled to each other. One is normally a permanent, which is the enchantment in this case. The other is normally an instant or sorcery that is listed as an adventure. So what an adventure is, as you can see by the little reminder text next to the token, you can cast this card as an adventure by casting the adventure half of the card, and after it resolves, you exile it. And you can then cast the permanent spell from the exile zone for its cost. So the adventure side of this is Ardenvale Fealty. For 1 and a white, an instant adventure, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance, as you can see by the token. So this is quite good. It's a combat trick. You can quickly make a 2/2 at instant speed, but also then if your 2/2 gets to live, you can drop the 5-drop enchantment and just make it bigger. We've got a couple of other adventures around, a red-black one. Not bad. A red-green goblin. A mono-black witch who makes a wicked roll. A mono-white besotted knight who makes a royal roll. And then the giant who can make a treasure. And the 2 ones that make rolls are sorcery speed. The one that distributes 3 counters is sorcery speed. The ping spell is sorcery speed, but the other 2 are instant speed adventures. And then we've got like a little boggle here. Green for a 1/1 with ward 2, kind of a boggle. 4 mana, put a counter on it. It's an oof. So the mechanics of this set, I'll go over them. We have adventures, as I mentioned. We have rolls, which are token enchantment auras. Normally all upside, but I think there is one that's a downside that was made in the commander set, so I don't think we'll see it here in the draft. But for this instance, it's a wicked roll. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1, and when this aura is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. And then here we've got the royal roll, which is enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and ward 1. A notable thing about the wicked roll is it interacts with another one of the mechanics called bargain. So this is whenever the aura goes to the graveyard, each opponent loses 1 life. And the bargain mechanic, as you can see on this one, is you may sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token as you cast this spell to get an extra ability. So in the instance of Brave the Wilds, it's 1 green pip for a sorcery, and the spell on its own is just search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Which is not bad. It's not ramp per se, but it deck thins a little bit by putting a land into your hand and helps you make sure that you hit your land drops. But if it was bargained, so if you sacrificed an artifact, enchantment, or token when you cast it, target land you control becomes a 3/3, then you go and search your library for a basic land, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So bargain is like a kind of a kicker cost. We've also got other things like ward, which is an evergreen mechanic, scrying, treasure tokens, surveil. I think that's like menace, rat tokens. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, put 2 counters on it. Notably, sneak attack does not cast, so if I would want to try and do something with that, it wouldn't work. But we've got mono white, probably mono white, token heavy, so go wide, or sneak attack to go tall and try and go fast. I might pick sneak attack and see where we go with it. Because sneak attack is also kind of funny in the Jolene deck that we've got, because there's some massive creatures in there and just being able to slam them down and swing in with them is quite fun. We might be able to go in blue or black, probably not though. So the enchanting tale from this pack is Hatching Plans for 1 and a blue. It's an enchantment, and when it is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you draw 3 cards. So this works quite well with the bargain mechanic of it's an enchantment that you can sacrifice for a bargain cost, and then when it goes to the graveyard, you draw 3 cards, is why it's printed here. On the black side on the blue side, we've also got this misleading notes for 3 and a blue instant. Target creature's owner puts it on their choice of the top or bottom of their library. So that's quite nice. But it's just a removal spell. Or we've got a Fairy Dream Thief, Feed the Cauldron, or Rat Out as the black spells in the set in this pack. We've got another adventure up here with Bear Down, Stormkeld Vanguard. The red cards we've got is Gnawing Crescendo, which is creatures you control get +2/+0, which is known as a Trumpet Blast effect, because back in Khans of Tarkir block there was a card that just did that for 2 in a red that was called Trumpet Blast. But this one is whenever a non-token creature you control dies this turn, you make a rat that can't block. And look at that adorable rat token. That's quite cute. Or we've got the Unruly Catapult, which is a 0/4 defender for 3 with tap, deals 1 damage to each opponent, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it untaps. So if I was going into a spells deck, that would be quite good, but I want to try and make good use of the sneak attack. So maybe I just pick this 6/7 that can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, because dropping that in for a red would be very good, and also it just has a good piece of target artifact and enchantment removal attached to it. So I think we just grab that and we go into some sort of rule big stompy deck. The enchanting tale is still in this pack. Vampiric Rites, black enchantment, 1 and a black, sacrifice creature, you gain 1 life and draw a card. That's not bad. We've got this knight here, or a cleric, not a knight. Looks like a knight, actually a cleric. When they enter, you draw a card, and they have Mend the Wilds, which is put target permanent card from your graveyard on top of your library. Now that's quite interesting. The knight itself is kind of meh, okay. To sneak attack it in would be 2 power, 2 toughness at instant speed, draw a card for red, which is nice. The Mend the Wilds part, which is put target permanent card from your graveyard on top of your library, is quite good with sneak attack, because we're going to be trying to sneak attack in massive creatures in the early game. And then when once they've all been sacrificed and gone away, we can potentially bring one back to the top of our library and then draw a card off this if we have the white. So I'm curious about if that would work. The other green creature we have is Territorial Witchstalker for 1 and a green, defender with 2/3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, it gets +1/+0 and can attack as though it didn't have defender. So it becomes a 3/3. And given that we're going to be sneak attacking, hopefully creatures with power 4 or greater, the likelihood is that we will have a 3/3 for 2 if we take the Witchstalker. So there's potential with that. Not Dead After All, black. Until end of turn, target creature you control gains. When this creature dies, return to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control, then create a wicked roll. And sneak attack is you sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. So Not Dead After All actually works really well with sneak attack, because you cheat something in, and then when you sacrifice it at the end step, Not Dead After All brings it back again. So maybe I want to grab that and probably go into some kind of black, red, if we draw any big black creatures. Second Not Dead After All, potential. A Bellowing Bruiser, they're a 4/4 with haste, but that also has Beat the Path, which is up to 2 target creatures can't block this turn. Not bad. A Witch's Mark, which discards a card, draw 2 cards, and create a wicked roll attached to up to 1 target creature. Dragon Mantle is the enchanting tale for red, enchanted creature, enchantment aura, enchant creature. When Dragomantle enters, you draw a card, and then it gives fire breathing to the creature, which is spend a red. This creature gets +1/+0. So you can do that multiple times to make a creature huge. I think, while I want a second Not Dead After All, they are common and we're likely to get more of them. I think I want to focus more on the creatures, and the 4/4 is better than the 2/3. So we'll grab the Ogre, for the time being. Ooh, Impact Tremors is pretty nice. As the Enchanting Tale for this pack, it is 1 and a red for an enchantment with whenever a creature you control enters the battlefield, this enchantment deals 1 damage to each opponent. That's pretty good with a sneak attack. We've also got a Hearth Elemental. It has Stoke of Genius. You discard your hand, then draw 2 cards. And this spell costs X less to cast by X. The number of cards in your graveyard that are instants, sorceries, and or have an adventure. Which currently we have the Bellowing Bruiser, and maybe Stormkeld if we go into green. And it's a 4/5, but also has a way to draw cards if we don't want our hand. So that might just be the pick. The black cards we have is a 1/3. Has lifelink as long as you control another fairy. Target opponent discards 2 cards, you create a Wicked Roll, and an enchantment that when it enters, each opponent discards a card and you lose 2 life, and then when it's put into the graveyard, you scry 2, and you can sacrifice it. I think we'll go with the Hearth Elemental. Stick to red at the moment, maybe go into green or black, depending on if we can get bigger creatures in one over the other. The Enchanting Tale for this pack is Ground Seal, 1 and a green, an enchantment. When it enters, you draw a card, and cards in graveyard can't be the target of spells or abilities. There's another rat out with that adorable token. A Shatter the Oath, which is destroy target creature or enchantment, create a Wicked Roll for 3 black. Or this little red cap goblin who, when they enter, you create a treasure. Maybe I want the goblin. Maybe he fixes me enough that I can then go in all 3 colours. There's also Bestial Bloodline, to give +2/+2 and return it from your graveyard to your hand for 5. We'll go with the goblin for now. We've got a Grabby Giant, another adventure card, another 4-power creature. In red, not bad, we've got the Warehouse Tabby, which is whenever an enchantment you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, create a 1/1 black rat creature token, and it can gain Death Touch for 2 mana. +4/+4 with a Titanic Growth. Kindled Heroism for +1/+0 and First Strike and Scry 1. I think we grab the Giant. We grab the Grabby Giant. Season of Growth. The Enchanting Tale from this pack. 1 and a green for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control enters, scry 1. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, draw a card. Which, if we do go into the Not Dead After All side of things, we're going to be casting those to target our spells, and we'll have a bunch of creatures entering with the sneak attack to cheat them in. That's 2 target creatures can't block. That would be targeting my opponent's stuff. That would be targeting my opponent's stuff. That would be just making a treasure. So not a huge amount of targeting at the moment. Ruby is a nice mana fixer, but not sure about that one. Return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. When it dies, put it on the bottom of its owner's library. Not sure about that one. Or we've got search for a basic land, put it into your hand and shuffle, create a human or create a food, and you pick 2. The Little Oof. And look at the top 5 cards of your library and reveal a creature card from among them, put it into your hand, and the rest go on the bottom. I don't want to take stuff like that because it can't hit our sneak attack. And we kind of want our sneak attack. So maybe we take the season and hope that we end up in green to do sneak attack things. We're back round to the first pack. Maybe we take the Brave the Wilds because it grabs a land. Maybe we grab the Conceited Witch. 2/3 with Menace. Can put a Wicked Roll on a creature. Maybe we take Brave the Wilds. Potential mana fixing. We got a rat out, we got feed the cauldron. Destroy target creature with mana value 3 or less. If it's your turn, create a food. I'm told target creature gets -1/-1, you make a rat. Or the catapult. I think we'll go with feed the cauldron. We'll grab the turret stalker this time. There's the not dead after all coming back round. We can grab the Ariet's Whisper for now, and then there's a Bestial Bloodline anyway. Pack 2. So Curiosity is the Enchanted Tale for this one. Blue, Enchantment Aura, enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. Now notably this does not say combat damage, so it's just any damage your creature deals. Which works really well with the cycle of Niv Mizzets, who is a dragon wizard and a blue-red legend from Ravnica, where they all do stuff like whenever you draw a card, deal 1 damage to any target. So you draw a card, which makes Niv Mizzet deal a damage, you deal the damage to your opponent, which then, because of Curiosity, draws you another card, which then triggers Niv Mizzet again to deal damage to your opponent, which then draws you another card, that then deals 1 damage, that draws a card, and you basically draw cards until either you run out of cards or they run out of life total. So, very good card for the combo, but it's also just a good card. We've got our rare is a Tangled Colony, 1 and a black. It can't block, and whenever it's a 3/2 rat that can't block, and when it dies you create X 1/1 rats, where X, rat creature tokens that can't block, where X is the amount of damage dealt to it. So if it gets blocked by something huge, you get loads of rats. There's also exile target creature. If you control enchantment, scry 2 for 4 mana, that's not bad. Or we've got the Beanstalk Worm, which is a big creature. It looks like the sneak attack is going to work better with green because there are just a bunch of huge green creatures in the set. We've got the Belligerent of the Ball, Ogre Warrior with Celebration at the beginning of combat on your turn. If 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battle for this turn, target creature you control gets +1/+0 against menace. 3 mana, 3/3. We've got the Hamlet Glutton for 7 mana. It's a 6/6. It has Bargain, and this spell costs 2 less if you bargained it. It has Trample, and when it enters, you gain 3 life. I think that's definitely a thing to put in the sneak attack deck. Now the problem will be if we're playing the sneak attack deck and we cannot draw sneak attack. That will be where we fall short of some things. There's another Hamlet Glutton. Quite nice. There is Red Tooth Genealogist. So when it enters, you create a royal roll attached to another target creature you control. It's a 2/3 for 2. We've got a Ruby, which Ruby is now looking a lot better if we are more solidly in red-green, because she taps for red or green. And she's a 1/2 with haste for 2, with whenever she attacks, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, she gets +2/+2, so she becomes a 3/4. There's also a Forced Fruition in this pack, which is the Enchanting Tale. For 4 blue, it's an enchantment with whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player draws 7 cards. Which you might be looking at and going, well, why do you want your opponent to draw 7 cards? Well, because of those 7 cards, they go to cast 1 and they draw another 7 cards. And if they then go to cast another spell, they draw another 7 cards. And then their deck starts to look really thin, and they look like they're about to deck themselves. That's normally what Forced Fruition does. I think we'll take either Ruby or Hamlet Glutton. Ruby's an uncommon. Hamlet Glutton might come back round. We'll take the Ruby. Ooh, nice. So here is some interesting stuff. We've got another Woodland Acolyte, which can put a target permanent from your graveyard to the top of your library. We've got another Fell Horseman that returns a creature card from your graveyard to a hand. We've got a Garetta Sweettooth who cares about food, so we're not that interested in her. With the Enchanted Tale is a Garruk's Uprising, which for 2 and a green is an enchantment. And this enchantment, when this enchantment enters, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you draw a card. creatures you control have trample, which helps us get a lot of damage in when we drop like a Hamlet Glutton on turn 5. And then also, whenever a creature you control with power 4 or greater enters, you draw a card. So if we are struggling to get our sneak attack, we can at least draw some cards by casting these creatures. It does mean I want some lower drop 4 power creatures, but we'll see. We'll see what we can find. We can probably move the Ariet's Whisper and the Feed the Cauldron over to the side, because they're less likely to be played now. Red-Toothed Genealogist creates a royal roll attached to a different creature you control. We don't have a huge amount. There's another Not Dead After All. See, it's silly because Not Dead After Alls are actually going to help us recur some of our sneak attacked creatures. So maybe the Feed the Cauldron does get in, because we might be playing black regardless. Because I think our attempt is to sneak attack and then Not Dead After All the creature. So we're mostly playing red-black, but then also splashing green for things like Garrick's Uprising, Season of Growth, Brave the Wilds, Ruby, and then in the event that we can't play red-black properly and make the most of sneak attack, we then have some giant green creatures, just in case. When it enters, you may pay 1. When you do, create a young hero roll attached to target creature you control. If it has power 3 or less, put a +1/+1 counter on it when it attacks. If it has toughness 3 or less, notably. So Merry Bards could put it on themselves. There's also another Grabby Giant. There's a Vampiric Rites, which we don't have. We're not going as wide as Vampiric Rites really wants us to. I think we grab a Merry Bards. And then there's another Merry Bards. Or there's a Hollow Scavenger, which has Bakery Raid as the adventure, which creates the food. And 1 and sacrifice the food, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn, activate only once. We don't have a huge amount of food, so that's not as useful. So I think maybe we go with a Merry Bard, because they're going to help us get to 4-powered creatures. There's another Not Dead After All. We could go for a full set, or a Skewer Slinger, a 1/3 with reach, and whenever it blocks or becomes blocked by a creature, it deals 1 damage to that creature. So it's effectively a 2/3 with reach. That's not bad. For a 2-drop, that's not bad. I don't think we really want any of this, but the Curiosity is still there, so I'll just throw that into my sideboard. There's another Skewer Slinger. Yeah, I think we'll just grab the second Skewer Slinger, because I think we're more focusing on the black, red, green section. I don't think I want any of these. I'll just grab a Living Loop Calendar out on my sideboard. I'll use Catapult and see what happens. Eerie Interlude into the sideboard, and a Moment of Valor into the sideboard. Pack 3. Ooh, we've got a Fawnsbane Troll for 2 black green for 4 power, 4 toughness troll. When it enters, you create a monster roll and attached to this. And the monster roll gives it +1/+1 and trample. And for 1, you can sacrifice an aura attached to it, and it fights target creature you don't control. And then if that creature would die, you exile it. So that's quite good. It's a 4-power creature that also has an aura on it, that also fights the thing, so it's kind of removal. That's good. That. Ooh, there's a Lay of Lightning. You can start with it in the battlefield if it's in your opening hand, and whenever you cast a spell, you may pay 1. If you do, it deals damage to 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. Interesting. There's a Lord Skitter's Butcher. When it enters, you choose 1, you make a rat, you sacrifice another creature to scry 2 and draw a card, or creatures you control gain menace. It's a 2/3. There is a Torrentans. Torrentans might be the choice. When it or another non-token creature you control dies, you make a rat, and target rat you control gains Death Touch for 2 mana. I think it might be a Torrentans, because when we sneak attack things in, they then die at our end step, which then makes us a rat. So I think Torrentans is the way to go. Then there's also a Rat Catcher trainee. So during our turn, against first strike, it's a 2/1. And it has an adventure of make 2 rats. But I think we're grabbing Torrentans. We've got another Rat Catcher trainee. A Shatter the Oath as a piece of removal. Titanic Growth for +4/+4. Witch's Mark, I think, because we need more card draw in this plan. We've got a Tattered Ratter. Whenever a rat you control becomes blocked, it gets +2/+0 for a 2/2 for 2. That's quite funny. We've got a Harried Spear Guard. It's a 1/1 with haste. With when it dies, you create a rat. That's also quite funny. That could well be a choice. We've got Back in Seconds. Bargain. Return. That's pretty good. Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to a hand. If this spell was bargained, you may put one of those cards with mana value 4 or mana value 4 or less. Less good. From onto the battlefield instead of putting it into your hand. It could still be good. We could still get like a Merry Band, a Merry Bards, or like a Torrentans, or like a Felspane Troll, or a Grabby Giant back to the battlefield. It just wouldn't hit the Bruiser, the Worm, the Elemental, the Giant, or the other Giant. There's potential though. Or we've got gets +1/+1 and trample as long as you control, as long as 2 non-land permanents enter the battlefield this turn. Or we've got the Fell Horseman. I'm interested in the Harried Safeguard. How many Merry Bards? I've got 2 Merry Bards to put young hero rolls. Because they could potentially put a young hero roll on the Harried Safeguard, which will then make it bigger. And also if we sneak attack our Harried Safeguard, it's just a 1/1. But when it then dies, we make a rat. I'll grab a Harried Safeguard, just an early game attacker. Given that I'm not playing as much green as I thought, I think I want to sideboard that, and the Bestial Blood, and the Territorial Witchstalker, and probably the Ruby as well. We'll keep the Garrick's Uprising, the Season of Growth in, but we're more in red-black. We've got another Feed the Cauldron. We've got a Monstrous Rage. Target creature gets +2/+0. Create a monster roll attached to it, which gives it +1/+1 and trample. So it's effectively 1 mana, +3/+1 and trample. We've got a Cut In, which is deal 4 damage to target creature. Create a young hero roll attached to up to 1 target creature you control. That's pretty good as a piece of removal. A bunch of fetching and pump spells. And then the rat out again. We'll grab the Cut In, I think. Another Impact Tremors. A Gnawing Crescendo. Another Merry Bards. A Sky Beast Tracker. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, create a food. Now my hope is to sneak attack all my big things, which means I won't be casting them. But in the event that I do just end up with them in my hand, or using their adventures, then I can cast them. Or we grab another red cap. We'll grab a Merry Bards. We want more young hero rolls for our little creatures. Whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, up to 1 creature gets... 1 target creature gets -1/-1. The Fell Horseman again. Arietu's Whisper again. We'll grab a Bellowing Bruiser, second one. Always useful. Create a treasure, then create a second treasure, then exile the top of the cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. We'll grab a Sky Beast Tracker. In the mid game. Oh, and another one. I don't know if I want them though, that's the problem. Maybe a Sugar Rush? difficulties. Sugar Rushes draw me cards, so I'll grab a couple of those. Stick some stuff in the sideboard at this point. Ooh. And that was our draft. Ready for stuffs to happen. So we can have a look at our curve. We are 6 cards over. So we can ignore these because we are actually in red-black. Our attempt is to sneak attack. So we've got a little bit of green for the Garruk's Uprising and the Season of Growth. But not a huge amount of green because that's not what we're trying to do, because we're going to hopefully use sneak attack to cast these. So I can remove one of those, add in one of those to fix our mana a little better. And then I need to remove 6 cards. So, the 3 Not Dead After All is pretty crucial to our sneak attack plan. Unruly Catapult was a last minute add, I don't think we need that. Redcap Thief helps us fix our mana if we end up not drawing a green, so they're pretty good. The Slingers are here, but I don't think we care that much about them. I don't think we care that much about the Slingers. We've got the Harried Spear Guard to try and... Oh, maybe we do keep them in. Difficulties. Because if I take out all my low drop creatures, I then have a problem. Torrent Hands is nice. So sneak attack is our plan. Torrent Hands helps us with the sneak attack. Not Dead After All cheats our sneak attack. That's a small creature that is also sneak attackable, but is also just a creature that cares about when it dies, which Torrent Hands cares about. It's a target for my Merry Bards, because they specify toughness, which is why the Skewer Slingers aren't as good, because they have 3 toughness. So really I want different small creatures, which I didn't really pick up, unfortunately. But maybe we can control the early game with our Harrier if we get it, the Merry Bards, Torrent Hands, the Redcap Thief, and then the things like the Cut-In, the Feed the Cauldron, and some Sugar Rushes. It's a risky one. We've got the Fastbane Troll. Don't know if we need another Bellowing Bruiser. We can cut one of those. And Crabby Giant is useful because it can make us a treasure token with That's Mine ability. That one lets us play an additional land, which helps us ramp. Yeah, it's difficult because if I'm sneak attacking these big creatures, I can't use their adventure side because I can only sneak attack them from my hand, not from the adventure zone. So notably, sneak attack might not have been as useful in this format as I thought. I'll take out one Merry Bard and leave it at that. And see how this goes. See if we can sneak attack effectively. We're in Rakdos Sneak Attack. And by Rakdos Sneak Attack, I mean Jund Sneak Attack. Let's see how it goes. We've still got 39 minutes until yeah, 38 minutes now until the premiere of Aether Drift. Or can we keep this hand? Not really. kind of need a red, but we could draw a red. And then we've got a red cat thief with a sugar rush. We can use the treasure to play Season of Growth. It's a bad hand, we shouldn't keep it. Now, that's a hand with my 3 colours. It has 2 Not Dead After Alls, which is kind of good. Sugar Rush, but a Merry Bard for any creature. We'll put one of the Not Dead After Alls on the bottom. Let's see how it goes. Oh, got a little mouse minion. I want a little mouse minion. How do I get that? Adorable. Little battle mouse. Drop on those bags. We don't have the one to pay the young hero role. And they might counterspell it anyway, or kill it, we'll find out. Yep, I'm counterspelling it. But I'd rather beat the counterspell with a Merry Bard than I would with the troll. We'll see what they do next. Creating a food. Holding open mana. That's not good. Well, never fear a counterspell, even though that's exactly what they've got. I refuse to fear your counterspell. They didn't have it. I've got a kill spell though. Yep, there we go. Torrentans! Torrentans is here. To tootle on his pipe. They're just playing Demir removal. Not to be unexpected, but I didn't expect it as much in this format, though I did see a lot of interaction, so in all honesty I should have guessed. Into the Fey Court, draw 3 cards, make a fairy. The fairy can't block only creatures with flying. That's fine. Massive flying creature, that's fine. Sugar Rush my Torrentans to draw a card. Merry Bards. Not have the 1 again because I'm a fool. But get 5 damage in. I'm just playing a bunch of little creatures. Ignore me. I have 1 instant in my graveyard, so this oh, I returned my Torrentans. That's okay. I also notably don't have a second swamp. I can't Torrentans and hold up a Not Dead After All. Or do both of these. I can't do that either. Mana value 3 or less, so I could kill that and get a food, or I could kill that instead. I think I'm going to kill. Oh, it can only hit 3 or less. That's not so good. Well, that's okay. I can do combats, I guess. Oh dear. Love the little storybook setting that we're all sat in. And I'm just here with the beanstalk. It's the amount of life you've gained this turn, which was none. Hit me for 4. That's got mana value 3 or less. Now I could discard my hand and draw 2 cards. would help me get to the not dead after the sneak attack. That's what I want, to get to sneak attack. I think that's what I'm going to do. Another quick study and response. There. I've got a Season of Growth. I've also got this lovely 3-drop 4/5. Ooh. We've also got a 4. Yeah, that. Let's play that. Got the Season of Growth. Because then when I play this half elemental, I can scry 1. Unless they counterspell the Season of Growth. No, they're going to hold the counterspell up to this half elemental. Have I got the counterspell? I think they do. Come on. I know you've got the counterspell. You know you want to counterspell. There it is. They're paying the bargain? They're not paying the bargain. Just one less. Yeah. No attacks. Empty. Not going to swing into a 4/5 with my creatures that are smaller than... Oh god. They've got huge creatures. What is this? Very good. Not okay with them having massive creatures as well as all the removals. Do I want to trade both of them? Not really. I'll just do that. I'm gonna not eat my food. Scry that to the bottom. Sugar Rush. Oh, I drew my not dead after all. The rest of it. It tapped my black. The Sugar Rush. Which I guess it needed to because Sugar Rush is a black spell, but... Bad times. Okay, we did not get sneak attack. Things did not go well. There was no sneak attack. Do I mulligan until I hit the sneak attack is the real question. I only got one back. One as well. I couldn't really make use of the not dead afterwards. Because I needed my black banner every time I had it. Not a great showing for sneak attack. Because it didn't turn up. Try again, shall we? I'm probably going to lose this horribly. I probably shouldn't have gone with sneak attack. I should have gone with the mono white card at the beginning. Like, I know Virtue is a good card. And I should have just gone with it. But I wanted to make sneak attack work. No sneak attack in my hand. Do I keep it with 0 sneak attack? Let's see what we get. A slightly better hand. Still no sneak attack in hand, but we'll see how this goes. Ooh, Fairy Dream Thief. Bellowy Giant, Bellowy Bruiser, Season of Growth, Control, Sugar Rush. They're playing black-blue again. Is black-blue just the thing to play in this format? Am I out of the loop somehow? I think black-blue might just be the thing to play. I suppose fairies was quite a big thing in this format. Fairies like control spells. Sorry, fairies like control spells. No, I won't. Actually, that's silly. Like, just to draw a card, spending 2 mana to Sugar Rush their creature in my turn is not the smartest. Like, it doesn't hurt me more, it's just a waste of a spell. And a waste of a Season of Growth trigger, potentially. Because it's whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control. Roll! Sneak attack. Nope, to the bottom. Although that was a second red source, I probably should have kept it. No, we're digging to sneak attack. We want to make a sneak attack work. Maybe you cast a spell during your opponent's turn up to one target creature and opponent controls. It's -1/-1. Nice. Yeah, aiming for 3. Absolutely fine. So, play that. Got foreign hands to get another scry. Holding up enough mana for the Sugar Rush to draw a card. Or the fight ability from the troll, but that's only sorcery speed. Oh. I'm killing my foreign towns. But that's okay, I get another scry off it, so that's fine. Sneak attack on top. Can I respond to that Season of Growth trigger? No. I should have held control. I will draw a sneak attack, please. Thank you. Oh, and then I draw a card for the actual Sugar Rush itself. Nice. The next time we get to play a sneak attack. And if we get a mountain, we can sneak attack mountain, drop in this 4/4, swing for a load. And by a load, I mean it feels like a lot. Maybe 10. If we swing with the rat as well. And we get to scry. Sneak attack silliness. Will be my turn. This relies on the start with mountain. Attempt to play sneak attack. Does it resolve? Really hope so. It did! Yeah! Activate sneak attack. Put in big 4/4. Scry 1. Shame Torrentans couldn't be here to see this. Definitely keep that rising on the top. That's a bunch of card draw. Let's munch this. Fight that. Yum. Punch. Or is it a fight? It is a fight. That's no good. I lost my board. Oh well. The risks of sneak attack. All the risks of doing a fight spell against a combat trick deck. I was about to be like, I hope I draw some good creatures, and then registered that I'm drawing down Uprising, which is no creatures, so good game. Sneak attack. It did not work. They had a trick to remove my fight, which then meant my Garruk's Uprising did not draw me a card. Which could have potentially been a massive creature, and I could have swung for loads of another sneak attack trigger. But instead, I lost. So yeah, sneak attack in this format when I'm just fighting black-blue removal fairies, not good. I think I'm just going to lose all 3 rounds and then move on. Sneak attack was the wrong decision. It was the wrong route to go with. Oh, I've got people on the YouTubes asking me what my stream is called. Let's drop a little. Oh, the sneak attack potential. I'm keeping for the potential sneak attacks. We can do this. We've got the mana. We can do this. We've got 2 good sneak attack targets. Currently, no not dead after alls, but there's a chance. I've also got a couple in just in case. I'm definitely not discarding my hand at this point. I've got a full grip and sneak attack. I'm ready and prepared for the nonsense that might happen. Once again, we're fighting someone who's playing blue as well. Turns out Wilds of Eldraine is just the format to play fairies in. And here's me getting tempted into a sneak attack game. I really want to sneak attack. And get some big cheating moves out of it. With my not dead after alls, which I've got 4 of. Or 3 of? I think I only got 3 of in the end. But next turn. Mountain sneak attack. Probably playing right into whatever counterspell they've got. If I'm lucky, they'll tap out. Doesn't look like it. It looks like they're going to hold on up an ice out. Oh, they're not dead after all. Okay, let's attempt to just bait out. Counterspell. They're probably not going to use it just to save this. They had a combat trick, but not the one I thought it was. They're probably still holding a counterspell. But they're now tapped out, so now we can get a sneak attack. Alright, sneak attack. And then next turn we can sneak attack in 2 creatures and play a not dead after all on one of them. Probably the small card. This is gonna be gross. So, sneak attack. 6, 7. Sneak attack. 4, 5. Merry Band. Not playing the one. Not dead after all my Storm Guard. Swing for 10. 6 of which they can't block. Sneak attack! It's kind of working! Now I've got to 7-8. And it only cost me 2 mana. This is what sneak attack is meant to do. It's meant to drop something massive and then cheat it so that you get to keep it. Do they have removal? Are they looking at sneak attack confused? Are they wondering how on earth all of this happened? Don't worry, I'm wondering it as well. Again, they're playing Dimir coloured fairies. It's just this time sneak attack actually worked. Uprising, which definitely draws me a card because I've got a 7-power creature. Ooh, Torrent Hands. Hi, buddy. Attack for 10. They give it -4, -0, and it still hits them for 3. Only 6 damage though. A lot less than the 10 they were about to take. Unfortunately, your creatures with little power can't fight. Can't block my giant warrior. So, risky. I don't know if they have an out. Maybe the second black gets them the kill spell. Maybe they can exile the Stormkeld. They're looking at it. They're having a think. What have we got? Can they get an answer that won't trigger Torrent Hands? Because I am totally willing to trade this 7/6 off for a 1/1. And 1 free damage from the Wicked roll. Sneak attack, not dead after all. Hooray! What I should have done is not focused on the green, just taken every big guessing they didn't have an answer. We won a round! Which means there's the ability for another round. And we actually get some winnings out of this terrible idea that I had. Like, this was not the deck to make. But I made it. Get a good sneaky. Oh, they're called Rat Whisperer. Maybe they're not playing the Dimir Fairy deck. See, 2 not dead after all is fun, but no sneak attack. Still no sneak attack. Also, not enough mana to play any of our cards. Yeah. I don't think I play below 5. Not dead after all can go to the bottom. Cut-in can go to the bottom. And I'll just merry bands themselves, I guess. If I get a 4th land, maybe a swamp. Ooh, they're gold. They're playing blue-back fairies. How did I not see this coming? I should have been able to guess. Oh, they're not playing blue-white. Interesting. Carry Spearguard, right? And And next time I can Merry Bands and put the Young Hero roll on my Harried Spear Guard. Or their Sleep Cursed Barriers awake from me. Ooh. Discerning Financier. Merry Band. Do I want to pay the 1? Auto card. Put it on my Harried Spear Guard. If I attack with them, they become a 2-2. Which will just die to this Financier. Difficult. I guess I can Merry Band and put a Young Hero roll on them again, and then when they attack they become a 3-3. It's not great, but it's something. Ooh, monster roll. Oh. Oh no, they're going to fight at the end. I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm fine with you hitting me first. Second Merry Band. Yes, I will put it on. Yes, I want to put it on my 1. Oh, it places... I'm an idiot. I forgot that things can only have 1 roll at once. So, I should have Merry Banded my Merry Band instead of Merry Banding the Harried Spear Guard. I should have registered that when it asked me, are you sure you want to do this? It was going, are you sure you want to do this? Because it's not going to do what you think it's going to do. And then I could have gone, whoops, and been sad. Okay. Discard my no hand and draw 2 cards. Maybe there'll be a sneak attack. Or maybe Hearthstone Elemental will get counterspelled. Who knows? There's the counterspell. This trade is fine. It's not, but I get a rat out of it. Adorable little rat. I'm going to die to this Sleep Cursed Fairy. With its ward too. Oh, yay, a swamp. Not helpful. Okay, if I can't draw something next turn, notably a removal spell, then I'm just dead. Do I draw a removal spell? Or do I have to good game them? Oh, I have to good game them anyway. Uh-oh. One knows out of sequence. I at least get to attack with my rat. Yeah. Because it can't block, so I might as well attack with it. Okay, this draft did not go well for me. The draft went well. I drafted something that I thought might work. And then I just came up against blue fairies in every single round. Notably, this one was just this blue fairy. But, yeah. The one game where I got my sneak attack to work, or got sneak attack, full stop, I won. And then in every other game I didn't get sneak attack, or didn't get anything. So I lost horribly. But I am going to put sneak attack and maybe some of these other giant things into my Jolene deck. Just 100 gems. And a pack of Wilds of Eldraine. And we got a Foundations pack as well. We've still got 8 minutes until the stream goes up. So we'll crack these packs. And then maybe fiddle with our Jolene deck. Heraldic Banner. It's a 3-drop artifact with, as this artifact enters, you choose a colour. Creatures you control of that colour get +1/+0, and it taps for that colour. So it's a mana rock in mono colours that also pumps your team, or a bit of mana fixing because you can pick a colour that isn't the colour that you've got if you're in a multicoloured deck. And a rare wild card. And then from our wild Eldraine pack, hopefully we open some cool stuff. Another Torrentans. Griffin Airy is our Enchanting Tale, which unfortunately means our rare is not going to be an Enchanting Tale then. But Griffin Airy is 1 and white enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained 3 or more life, create a 2/2 white griffin. And we got an Ariat's Tempting Apple, a 4-drop legendary artifact food. When it enters, you gain control of target creature until end of turn. You untap that creature and it gains haste. And then 2 untap, and you can sacrifice it to gain 3 life, like a food token. But it also has 2 untap and sacrifice it to give target opponent loses 3 life. So it can be an evil food for your opponent. And our rare is Thunderous Debut, featuring 2 of the cards that I was trying to sneak attack in the artwork. Look at the top 20 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creature cards from among them. If this spell was bargained, put the revealed cards onto the battlefield. Otherwise, put the revealed cards into your hand. Then shuffle. And it's 6 green. So big, expensive tooth and nail, effectively. The store is highlighting for me, and I do not know why. Ah, new deals, that's why. Ah, a Bloomburrow pack. Do I spend the 900 coins on a Bloomburrow pack? I think the answer must be yes. Look at all these beautiful arts. All these wonderful, adorable little creatures. And the horrible massive snake. I think I spend the 900 coins on the pack, and then we open it right now. Jump right in and open a pack. Yay! Crumb and get it. Instant speed. White. Gift of food. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If the gift was promised, it also gets indestructible. And we got a Cindering Cutthroat for 2 and a Rakdos hybrid mana. It is a 3 power, 2 toughness Lizard Assassin. It enters with a +1/+1 counter if an opponent lost life this turn. And for 1 and a Rakdos hybrid, it gains Menace until end of turn. A Calamitous Tide with some very cool artwork by Samuel Bendini. I hope I pronounced that name right. I had a bit of a mind blank in the middle of it, thinking about how I pronounced Bandel wrong. Welcome, Furyborn Hellkite. I'm very excited to stream, and I'm very excited for the Aether Drift preview stream that should be happening in a few minutes. I've watched a few of the upcoming streams. Aether Drift is just one that, since I started streaming here myself, I'm really excited to show everybody, because I'm sure we'll be playing a lot of Aether Drift. Because in real life, I have a 4-colour vehicle commander deck, along with way too many other commander decks, but the 4-colour vehicle deck is fun. And set about vehicles is going to make for an interesting brawl deck on Arena. But yeah, Calamitous Tide. 4 blue for a sorcery. You return up to 2 target creature cards to their owner's hands, draw 2 cards, and then discard a card. So it's a... I can't think of what the spells are. Draw 2 cards, discard a card. It's not Quick Study, that was just draw 2 cards. Divination was just draw 2 cards. There was a worse version of Divination, where it was draw 2 cards, discard a card. And then bouncing 2 creatures. So a double snap. Not quite snap. It's 2 snaps and a divination stapled together with all the good sides taken away. And we get a Valley Might Caller, a rare frog warrior for green. They are a 1/1 with trample, and whenever another frog, rabbit, raccoon or squirrel you control enters, you put a +1/+1 counter on Valley Might Caller. It's a very good card. Notably, frog, rabbit, raccoon and squirrel were the green archetypes from Bloomburrow. So frogs were green-blue, rabbits were green-white, raccoons were green-red, and squirrels were green-black. As you can see here, mice were also red-white, lizards were black-red, and then we also had the bats, which were black-white, as seen on Come and Get It, and the rats that were black-blue. I think that's all the colours. I'm sure there's some that I'm missing. Yeah, I have actually completed the 32 colour deck in real life in Commander. I enjoy them. I don't get to play them nearly as much as I want to, but I try and keep a steady rotation going through them, so that if there's a deck that I haven't played for a long time, I get to play it again. How long have we got till the stream? 2 minutes.